10-star Dragon Speed car. Ben is only going to be driving, as of right now, the St. Pete race. But Ben, you had an eventful off-season. Started off with a nice win at the Rolex.
Yeah, not really an off-season anymore. I've been competing in the WEC as well, so I think Bahrain was in the middle of December, and then 2 weeks, then you're into the Daytona Raw and then the race. So it's nice to start off with a win.
All right. Dragon Speed's announced a partial season. I think it's 6 races. They announced you for St. Pete. How much are you looking forward to getting back to a track that you kind of know and a car you kind of know?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I mean, last year we only just managed to get the car built and running for the race, so we were still having lots of little issues during the weekend that we managed to get on top of and finish the race. So just finishing that race was big for us. You know, we managed to collect a lot of data, and we go back there this year with some experience, quite a lot of data, so hopefully we'll be able to kickstart from a decent place.
How big was Indianapolis for you, qualifying, locking in on the first day, and then getting to experience everything on the race day?
Huge. You know, we knew the size of the task going into that event, so we kind of just focused on our own plans. You know, we saw people were doing some big speeds, but we didn't try and get carried away or try and chase those. One of the big thing in the whole Dragon Speed crew, we knew we had to be patient, so even when we were struggling and we were at the bottom of the board, we kind of knew what we were doing and what our target was. So from the outside it looked like we were struggling, but on the inside we were just learning our way and taking our time and trying to get confident with the car as we got up to speed. So it worked out really well. You know, like you said, we went straight through into the race, which was also big because that Sunday bump day, I didn't really want to be involved in that. It was nice to be able to watch it and not be involved. It's the same applies this year. You know, we've only done the 3 races, so we know what level we're at and how much experience we've got. So we know we still need to keep our head down, and we've got an awful lot of work to do to get on the pace and to get competitive. So great start last year, and hopefully we can push on with all the things that we've learned.
Any questions for Ben? I got a question. So last year on debut, you qualified in the second round of Fast 6, and the race went okay for you. You know, I think what 18th was the finish. How do you change your mind, knowing what you did last year when you go to St. Pete? What is the approach? What is the objective for you?
I think last year, you know, we struggled a lot more in qualifying than we did in the actual race. So we were a bit of a gap between us and the next car in qualifying, but then in the race we could kind of hang on to that back group. So our plan is the same as always, is just keep improving and keep chipping away. You know, we're not going to find 2 seconds overnight, but with patience and hard work, you know, we will get there. It's just a matter of how much time we've got, how much testing we can do, and how much resources we can put into the car. So, you know, they're working incredibly hard in the off season as well, preparing everything and getting everything ready for St. Pete. I think we've got 1 test day planned. We're only allowed 2 with the schedule that we have, so it's tight and it's difficult for new teams to get on the pace with the limited amount of testing you have. So it makes it a lot harder for the new teams, but at the same time it makes it really, really worthwhile when you do get the results like qualifying for Indy and finishing them races and being able to get off the back row.
You're used to having a windscreen in front of you in the cars you drive between the P1 and the P2 cars. Do you think it'll be much of an adaptation for you to get into an IndyCar with a windscreen or an air screen?
No, it shouldn't be too bad. I've heard a few rumours about some drivers saying it's pretty hot in there, there's no air. Other drivers saying it's not too bad. So I'll just have to see what it is when I get in there. But yeah, like you said, very similar to a P2 type or a P1 type with a screen that comes all the way over your head. So in that respect, I can't see a big difference there.
David?
Ben, do you ever look back and think that, do you have some element of surprise at how well Dragon Speed did? Because we all know how tight margins are in IndyCar, between front and back of the grid, and we look at your team coming on the partial schedule, which is already kind of like a nightmare. You don't have that continuity. Are you thinking shocked at how well Dragon Speed showed across the season, not just at Indy, but across all the races?
Not really, because I know the group very well, and one of the reasons why I think as a group Dragon Speed are able to perform is because all the people in there really respect each other and trust each other as well, which is a big thing. So I know they have the potential. Like you said, a partial season's difficult because you're breaking the rhythm, and also you get a lot less track time, as is normal. But I think the big thing is testing. It's extremely limited, which is good for the championship as a whole, but it makes it very, very difficult for new teams to get on pace and to learn the car, because you're only really learning in the race, because even in the testing, the tracks that generally start off pretty green, especially the street circuits and things like that. So it's really difficult to anticipate how the evolution is going to affect the car, what changes balance-wise are going to make. And we sit there and a couple of the tests that we attended, and people were changing gear ratios before they'd even gone out on track. We were we were wondering which gear ratios to put in it. So yeah, we learned a lot last year, and no, it doesn't surprise me that much. I think we surprised even ourselves at Indy with going straight through into the race. But like I said, we keep focused and grounded and just keep working.
Paul?
You've raced in a lot of different formulas around the world. What about the whole month of May experience last year shocked or surprised you the most?
I was just in awe at how well the championship runs the month of May, the event, the test days, qualifying, everything. The structure is unbelievable, and it makes life a lot easier for the teams who are competing there with how well organised the event is. So it's obviously a massive event, huge. You can see that from outside of the race when you're watching it on TV and things like that, and you see the spectator numbers and how many people tune in to watch it, the broadcast. So it's a huge event, but I was really surprised on how well organised and structured and run the whole 2 weeks that I was there was. It was really incredible, and IndyCar are doing a great job.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, Ben. Sorry, Mary.
Could you clarify, you're only doing one race with the team in IndyCar?
I'm hoping to do more, but at the moment, yeah, just confirmed for one. But yeah, my plan my plan would be to do them all. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. It's difficult to do the 6 races. So the team with a little bit of help from IndyCar as well, which have always been massively supportive of the new teams entering. It's nice to have that feel behind you, and also nice to be in the paddock. So everyone's trying to help, and yeah, I'll do as much as I can.
And what about May? About the Indy 500, you'd want to do that again, right?
Yeah, of course I want to go by there. I've got a lot of unfinished business there. We wanted to finish the race. That was, once we qualified, the next step was let's finish the race. So stay on track, finish the race. We stayed on track. Unfortunately, we had a mechanical failure, so we didn't get to finish. So we need to do that.
Over in the corner, bless.
We've got your buddies coming in 2 weeks to Circuit of the Americas. Are you going to come visit with them? I'm back here for the race in 2 weeks. So I was originally scheduled to do it with Ginetta, and then they pulled out last minute because the preparation isn't ready there yet after Bahrain. But yeah, lucky for me, some spaces opened up, and I'm back here in 2 weeks.
Joey?
I remember talking with you after your initial oval test at Texas, and seeing your eyes get opened up to that, and just seeing you transform through that and progress to Indy. What's your takeaway from ovals now that you've had a taste of them? I mean, do you look forward to them more than you did before you were entering it, or what's the mindset on those?
I always looked forward to it, and I've always been one of the guys who watches it and goes, "Oh, I'd love to try that discipline in the sport." And I'm still want to do that, because I didn't have much much experience in the race, with us only doing like 50 odd laps. I think we did at the 500 before the failure. So the traffic is the next big thing that I need to get more comfortable with. You know, like I said, we focused on just qualifying for the race at the Indy, so we didn't spend much time at all in the traffic and setting the car for the race. It was just finding our feet on the oval and being in a position to be able to do a decent qualifying run. So still got a lot to learn from my side of things, and obviously from the team side as well, on how to set up the car for the traffic.
Lucille?
But how difficult is it for you to get into the IndyCar for one race after you've driven other kind of cars?
Now it's not that difficult. At first, when I first went into car racing, then it was very difficult to switch into a different championship when you don't have much experience. But I've been around for quite a while now, so it's still difficult, but it's not. It only takes, say, 10 or 15 laps before you're back feeling comfortable and relaxed in the car. You know, them first 10 laps are always a bit edgy, tight in the car. And it's same even if you switch between the P1 and the P, like in Silverstone last year, I was doing LMP1 in the WEC and LMP2 in the LMS. So 10 minutes after I was doing qualifying in LMP2, I was doing qualifying in LMP1. So, you know, they're quite similar, those cars. But when you switch to something completely new, it's completely different. It's almost easier because it's such a different car to sit in, to drive, the position, everything's different. So the bigger differences in the car, it almost becomes a bit easier because you can tell instantly where you need to be.
Okay.
Is your main focus going forward going to be endurance racing, or are you looking to expand IndyCar, get into IndyCar full-time in the years down the road? Since you've been doing both, you've obviously got your handle on endurance racing, but
Yeah, obviously the last 4 or 5 years now I've spent doing endurance racing, so that's kind of the majority of the racing that I'm doing, and it's incredibly difficult to get the financial side of things together to be able to do a full season in IndyCar, you know, on the team side, on my side. You know, I've really struggled for funding throughout my career, apart from when I was backed by the RDD, you know, the Renault Driver Development program. So yeah, in that respect, it's difficult. I'm not looking too far ahead. You know, I just try and concentrate on what's happening in front of me and the options that I'm doing at the moment. So I'm pretty busy. So I'm not really thinking about doing more races. But if an opportunity came up to be able to do the championship full time, then, you know, of course, single seater is kind of feels nice. Seats made for you, car set up for you. You know, it's selfish in some respects. You know, you just got to think about yourself. So it's nice to be able to do that.
Anyone else? All right, thanks, Ben.
Thank you very much.